Logan Crawford, and right now on GBN, we're sharing a profound, heartfelt journey of faith and resilience with an amazing author. Her name is Tessie Jantoc, and she has penned a powerful memoir. It is called A Miracle from God That Breaks Me. At the center of this story is Brandon, her miracle son, who became both her greatest blessing and her deepest test of her strength through overwhelming trials and loss. This is an inspiring tale of how, even through moments of pain and breaking, the power of divine intervention and unwavering love ensured that God's grace never let her shatter completely. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her on TV today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Tessie, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Well, thank you so much, Logan, for at least inviting me to your show.
It's my pleasure. This is such a powerful story. Tell us a little bit about Brandon and how it became your greatest blessing and also your deepest test.
Brandon was actually my miracle. I don't want to go into detail because I did explain it in my book. But when I lost a pregnancy, I would say, I really cried out to God. For like 3 days, I fasted 3 days. And I cried out to God and I said, God, I poured out my heart because of what happened, and I asked God, could I have my child back? I was grieving so hard. I really believe in miracles. I really did, because I read all the Bible characters from the Bible, and one thing I remember was like Hannah, because Hannah was grieving and she wanted a child, so I applied it to my experience.
Yeah.
And he was my miracle.
Yeah. A heartbreaking situation, no doubt. Tell us why you decided to share your story in this book.
A year after I lost my son, because my son actually met Miley at the time, and I didn't think of anything of it. And I know before my son passed away, he said, Mom, I'm going to upload that picture of Miley Cyrus and me. You just never know when we're going to use it. And I cried. I said, Brandon, I don't want to do anything with it. He said, no, Mom, you just never know, because, God might do something. He always had that faith. And so a year after he passed away, and I looked at his laptop and I saw that picture and I heard God telling me, reach out to Miley. So when I reached out to her, she replied right away because she remembered that picture. She remembered my son. So she reached out to me and she said, Tessie, you need to really write a book. She planted that seed in my heart like years ago. And it's not that I forgot about it. It was so hard. I wasn't in a good place, but I really saw her as a daughter, as a friend. And so, but after we lost in touch, I was in a place where I felt very unfulfilling in my job. I just, I just knew I had a calling. I just knew.
Yeah.
And so I saw that picture, Brandon and Miley on my classroom and at my work. And I asked God, why did Brandon met Miley? And he said, write the book. And so I decided to write the book. And I said, okay, let me write the book, because he knew that's what I needed. I needed someone to push me to do it. So I finally wrote that book.
Well, we're glad you did, because it keeps Brandon's memory alive and helps other people who have struggles and challenges and trials in this life. It was so kind of Miley to get in touch with you right away and counsel you like that, right?
Yeah, she really did. We kept in touch like 5, 7 years. We would text every day.
Wow.
Yeah, every day. I was kind of like her. We weren't like celebrity and fan. It was more like a deeper level. Because sometimes she called me mom, and I just saw her as a daughter basically
Yeah.
because she filled that void because I lost my son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What advice would you give to other parents in that terrible situation where their child's either very sick or they lose their child to an accident or whatever the case might be, that they're heartbroken over the loss of their child?
I think the key is, God met me at my lowest because when you're at the lowest, people are just not there. They kind of disappear because
Yeah.
they don't want to be with you. And so God was the only one. My parents were there for me, obviously, but they
Mm,
couldn't, it was hard for them because I was grieving. And so God really met me at my lowest. I
mm,
mean, he was there for me. So even though it was hard, not once I became bitter. I just cried. I didn't, he just comforted me.
mm,
Uh, I can't describe it. I because I really wanted to give up, and God just held me um, in His arms
mm,
because years ago, when I was 19, I had some experience where an angel came and visited me,
mm,
and she just told me, Tessie, later in life, you're gonna lose someone
mm,
in your life. And so I looked at her and I thought, and I asked her, is it my parents? And she said, no, it'd be someone that you really love. So when you lose that person, just reach out to God.
mm.
Don't, he'll never leave you. So I always remember that story,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah, it's
was at the
amazing.
end.
It's like it
Yeah.
was foretold to you by
Yeah, it
an
was what
angel.
told me
Yeah.
the angel and then I could always hear God speak to me.
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone struggling to see a miracle in the midst of their own intense struggle or loss?
Um, I'm if you just have like a little faith, um, because God is really looking, you know, He's looking for like intimacy.
Mm,
He wants a close relationship. He don't want someone just once a week or on Sundays. He really, it's like a connection. I know it's hard for me to explain, but
hmm
um, he realized that we all make mistakes. We're not perfect. But if you have little faith and you just stay with God, even reading the Bible, even this one verse,
mm,
or just journal. I used to journal all the time when my son passed away. I would just type and I would cry and just write a journal. Basically, it's kind of like a diary. That kind of helped me through. And I I did I did saw a counselor. I was really picky. I wanted a Christian counselor. So I did saw a
mhm.
counselor for about a year because
Yeah.
that's how bad it was for me. So I had to seek someone.
Yeah.
And but she kind of knew with all the pain I went through, she kind of foresaw something. She said, Tessie, your story is going to impact people. You,
hmm
you may not see it, but I'm just telling you because of your faith. It's
Yeah.
like, God would take your brokenness and He's gonna make it so beautiful.
Mm,
And so I think she foresaw that for me.
yeah.
And I just said, okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. What was it like writing this book, going through your memories and going through your relationships and recalling these times?
When I started writing my book, I had recently bought my townhouse, and God spoke to me. And because I knew I had to start writing this book. It was like, but I always had a lot of distraction,
Yeah.
from everybody. And so I had to really say, God, I need to start writing this book. And he wasn't rushing me. It's just that it was almost time. He said, well, you have like a year, maybe a year and a half, but you really gotta get this started.
Mm,
And so I started it. And so no matter how hard it was, with my surrounding, I said, God, I really need to start writing. So when I was writing the book, I just had this almost like a spiritual awakening because
Mm.
that's when I really got really closer to God. I said, I just had a spiritual awakening. It's not that I was
Yeah.
never awake. I
Yes.
just got closer to Him. And I got to see everything like, I learned to, when I wrote this book, I really learned to pour into myself. I think that was the key. I learned
Yeah.
to pour myself because I was so used to giving and giving and giving. And God said, no, you need to start pouring in yourself, start
Mm.
loving yourself. So when I started loving myself, then it's like I just had an awakening. And so that's when I transitioned from my job, and God said, start following me.
Mm.
So I walked away from my job, and I took the path that
Mm.
God was taking me.
Yeah.
And I never felt happier in my life.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'm glad that God has been there for you, has comforted you during your hard times and your trials. Your book
Amen.
is really a gift to the reading public to help them get through loss and heartbreak with faith and resilience like you have. The name of the book we've been talking about today is A Miracle from God That Breaks Me. It is an extraordinary memoir written by Tessie Jantoc that offers a moving testament to unwavering love and resilience and the power of divine grace in the face of life's deepest trials. If you're seeking hope and a deeper understanding of faith when all else seems lost, this heartfelt journey is a must read. Tessie, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much, Logan. Thank you.
I appreciate your time, your insight, and your wonderful faith. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford for the Global Book Network. So long for now.